Hello everybody, Frankly FM84 here. Big thank you for coming back and joining me on another video right here on the YouTube channel. If you've been on the channel for the past couple of days, you probably would have seen we kicked off a brand new rebuild series. We have gone to the French capital. We are in charge of the neighbours lurking in the shadows. We have took charge and gone into the dugout at Paris FC. In yesterday's episode, you would have seen that we got promoted from Ligue 2 at the first time of asking. You would have also heard the rules for the save. We are going with the children of the French Revolution. 21 and under are the only players that we can sign, and we are looking to build a French Revolution by only having French players in our starting 11. So if you're up to date already, this is going to be a long and winding road to the end of these transfers. We have jumped forwards to the 2nd of September 2022. That means we are through the summer transfer window, and there is a lot of action that has happened. You can see, as always, we're going to start off with the transfers both in and out. There is two parts to the transfer window. Obviously, when the transfer window opens on the 9th of June, we can start to sign players, and then also we can start to release players. And we are going to go through every single signing, both out and in. We're going to do it in both parts. So we're going to start off with this June part. So the players that went out of the club: Julian Lopez left for 525,000. Morgan Julevogi went to Amiens for 500,000. Jonathan Iglesias went to Defensor Sporting for 78,000. And Cyril Manduki, former club captain, went to AJ Auxerre for 375,000. So yesterday, if you remember, I was saying we're going to need to strengthen this squad. Going into Liga 1, everybody is going to expect us to get relegated. We're going to need to up our game and try and get some players of a better calibre. So what did we do? We went and scouted all of the big teams. So you're going to see names such as Monaco, Lyon, PSG, all appearing on this list as we went and started to poach players from those clubs. So the first player we signed for £26,500 was Nazim Babai. He is a player who can play wide right, can play wide left, can play up top. We love versatility here on the channel. Pace 13, acceleration 12, good dribbling, good first touch. Was playing for Monaco, popped up on a scouting report. £26,000 is hardly a risk. He's young enough to develop. Riyad Talbi is the next player to come in. He has come from Olympique Lyon. Again, he's a striker. He is 5'7", so a little bit on the short side, but he has good pace, good acceleration, dribbling, first touch, finishing, technique. At the age of 18 years old, he hasn't been capped at any level by France, but as a breakthrough prospect, he was coming from Lyon. I think he's a player who could break into the first team sooner rather than later. He needs to be developed quite a lot, though. His value is 200,000 to 1.2 million pounds, which isn't too bad if we were to move him on in the future. The next player we signed was Christ Mukhelenji. He has come from PSG, from our neighbours. Can play on the left, can play up top. He has good pace and acceleration. He has good dribbling and first touch and finishing. You're going to notice a pattern here where there are certain attributes we are looking for in certain players. This player is 17 years old, so to have the stats that he has already, obviously the scouts have gone and looked for particular types of players, and we have bought him for £1.1 million. Kais Naji is the next player. He's also coming in from Paris Saint-Germain. He can play as a left back, so he's tackling, pace is good, acceleration not too great, natural fitness is there, positioning, tackling of 14 is good, so hopefully a player who can slot in, be a rotation option at left back. The next player to come in is Stefan Bajic from Pau FC. £1.9 million. We had to go out and replace our own goalkeeper. He came in ranks at the top of the scouting reports that we received. Played against him a couple of times, I think, last season in, I think in the league and the cup. And he came in as an absolute bargain at £1.9 million. To start with, he has good aerial reach, handling, one-on-ones, reflexes, rushing out tendencies. Probably not a good thing at 13, but he's capped at under 19 level. He's a player who I think can go in and be our first choice goalkeeper from the get-go. Not going to be a like-for-like replacement because of age and experience, but he's going to have to learn on the job quickly because he will be playing games. The next one, Alan Zadi, coming in from Monaco. He's a goalkeeper as well. Not as good as Bajic, but he's a player who can come in. He can be a rotation option. We actually have already played him in the league. He has conceded 6 goals, which is not too great. But again, a player at the age of 18 who is going to develop. He has been capped at under 18 international level. The next player from Monaco was Jules Berry. He's a centre-back, good tackling, 6'2" in terms of height, heading of 11, jumping reach of 13, acceleration not too great, pace is only 11, but again, these are players that we're going to look to develop. At 18 years old, I think he can be a star of the future. We went back to PSG then. Jedi Gassama, he's a striker. Doesn't have the best finishing with 10, but he does have good first touch. He has good heading, technique. Pace is good with 13. Acceleration is 13. At 18 years old, I think he's one for the future. Going down the list, Anfane Armada was the next player to come in. He has also come from PSG, a central midfielder. If you look at all the stats that are highlighted for his position, technique, passing, first touch, decisions, anticipation, vision, they're all good. Work rate is also good, as is determination. He's a player, I think, who will break into our first team and play a lot of first team football this season. We then went to Guingamp and bought Bakari Sharif. He's a central midfielder also, only 18 years old, one who I think will develop into a brilliant footballer in the future. Tyreek Arconte then come from Ajaccio for 475,000. He's a winger who can play on the right. He's also a makeshift striker. He has good pace, good acceleration, technique, first touch, dribbling. Another player at the age of 18 years old we are going to be developing at the club. We then signed Ayman Aiki from St Etienne. He can play wide left, he can play up top, he has good pace, he has good acceleration, dribbling, first touch and finishing. Again, these are the types of players that we like to sign. He's been capped at under 18 level. He's 17 years old. I think this kid has a big future ahead of him. And the last player in this part of the transfer window was Nathan Zizi. For some reason it's got him highlighted as a right back, but he doesn't play there. He's a defender central. 6'2", good tackling, good marking, good heading. Pace is only 11. Acceleration is only 11, but he has a lot of time to adapt and develop. 17 years old, and that completed the June part of the transfer window. Strap yourself in because there's even more to come. So the next player to come in was Nathan Zahorae, a player who we had signed on a free transfer on a pre-contract, 21 years old, another central defender who again is 6'2", has decent heading at 13. Pace and acceleration aren't too great. He's a player though that we are going to put into the second team and maybe develop for the future. We then have Dan Patrice Bikuta. He's a player who is a central midfielder. And again, looking at the stats, you can see passing, decisions, acceleration. Stamina only 7 is an alarming stat, but hopefully at the age of 19 he has some room for development. Good vision, good work rate. Another rotation option in the middle. We then have Lucas Russo. He has come from Nice. You can see he's a left back. He's 20 years old, hasn't been capped at youth level. It's saying he's a 4.5-star prospect. Can only play left back though. Tackling of 14. Pace is okay. Acceleration is okay. Currently in the second team, we are going to see what he has there first before promoting him to the first team. Matteo Bonini is another one in the second team. 20 years old. Can play all through the centre of the spine of the squad, all the way from midfielder to striker. Don't think he is an out-and-out striker because he has good passing, tackling, work rate, teamwork. Although he does have 13 finishing, he has 15 determination, 15 aggression. He's a player who hopefully can slot in the second team first and build his way back up. And these are all free transfers also, so there's no risk really involved. Give them a contract. If we sell them on and make a profit, that is exactly what the board want anyway. The next player is Ibrahim Karamoko. Again, Plays wide left, plays wide right, plays up top. He's versatile, quick in terms of pace and acceleration. Dribbling, first touch, he's all good. Who did he play for last season? Played for Lille's second team. He had a good season, 34 games, 3 goals, 1 Player of the Match award, and 6.96 average rating. Simon Callum Bay is the next player. He plays wide right. He also is a makeshift striker. Popped up on a scouting report and we thought, again, 17 years old, no risk attached there. Played for Metz last season. Lenny Pintor, so we started to get some money at this point and we started to spend it. Lenny Pintor is a player who can play wide right, can play wide left, can play up top. He is quick, 15 pace, 15 acceleration, 13 agility. In terms of the technicals, dribbling, finishing, first touch. Again, as I said, there are patterns emerging of what we are looking for and what we have set the scouts up to go and look for. Lenny Lacroix is the most expensive signing of this part of the window. £2.2 million, 6'1" centre back, tackling of 15, heading of 11, pace of 12. Acceleration is not too great, but I've got a feeling that once he starts playing in a better team and developing himself, he will start to develop into the player that the scouts think he is. Babacar Lays, the next player. Where did he come from? He's 21 years old, playing for Nantes. Had a good season for Nantes, second team last season. 25 appearances, 14 goals, and a 7.09 average rating. Leslie Ogachokwu, he is a player who I'm really excited about. He has popped up, I think, on a Wonder Kid list or two. I've certainly seen this name before. He's an 18-year-old lad who has come from Rennes. When you look at the stats that are highlighted for his position, good tackling, good work rate, off the ball, determination of 11, first touch of 13, good stamina, pace and acceleration could probably do with improving a little bit, but as an 18-year-old who's capped by the under-19s, he has room for improvement there. And the final player at this part of the transfer window is Elias Houseny. He's a player, if you went and saw my Leeds United save right at the start of the FM22 cycle, he popped up on a few Wonder Kid lists, went and got him on the cheap, and we have done exactly the same thing here. I think he's a player with a lot of potential who eventually will crack the first team. Probably not there yet, but good acceleration, good pace, good finishing, good dribbling. I've got a feeling it won't be too long before Houseny is a household name at Paris FC. We then obviously had to release players, so we let quite a few go on a free transfer. Let's rattle through those. Evan Morrell, No Masevo, Awono, Mayala, Samoilov, Kitenge, Campanini. So they all left the club on free transfers. We then started having to sell players. So Ivan Filipovic, should I say, he managed to leave the club. Again, 27 years old. He's too old for what we are doing. Also, he's French, which means he had to go. Patrick Kofi followed him out. Both him and Warren Caddy ended up at Pau FC. Demonsi ended up at FCSM on loan, as did Mustafa Name. So that's a lot to get your head around, and we are building a squad because obviously we're going to need a lot of options going into Liga 1. A lot of these players of 21 or under are probably going to get burnt out, and we are going to need a lot of rotation options. That's why we hit the transfer market as we did. We went out and got the players that we needed to for the positions that we needed. Hopefully now we are going to have a squad that is good enough to survive in Liga 1. So the first thing to show you then is how we have started our season. If we hit the competitions tab, I was going to say you can see, but you can't see. We haven't started the season brilliantly at all. We are currently down in, go the wrong way, down in 17th place. We have played 4, won 1, lost 3, -4 goal difference and 3 points on the board. This season is going to be difficult. Let me just tell you this for nothing. If we hit the schedule, you can see we didn't start the season off in blistering form, although in fairness, Liga 1 has not been kind to Paris FC. Going through the friendlies, lots of draws in there. Red Star was our only win. I did think maybe we have got an outside chance here of hitting the ground running, and then I noticed that we had Marseille up first, lost 2-1. Lyon second, lost 3-1. Lille third, lost 3-1. But then a glimmer of hope and a glimmer of light. We beat Reims 2-1. Tremoni and Lacroix getting the goals. Abdelhamid getting the goal for them. And it was our first 3 points on the board in Liga 1. So if we go to the proper league table, you can see that in terms of our position, played 4, won 1, lost 3, -4, and 3 points. Even though we're not going to be represented in a lot of these categories, let's have a quick look at the player stats. You can see in terms of most goals, Icardi's hit the ground running 7 in 5. Mendes with most assists with 5. Milik most shots with 29. Badiashile with most player of the match awards with 3. Dimitri Payet has most key passes with 27. Marcelo best pass completion. Most tackles won, 3 players in there, and Hanning a honourable mention in 4th. Most dribbles made, no players represented. Most clean sheets, our goalkeeper is not on the list, and I noticed we have played 2 of them, so neither of them making the list. And fewest conceded, obviously there is no goals conceded from 4 games for Paul Nardi at Lorient. The other stats you can see, fouls, Ogachokwu 14, Hanning on 12. Penalties, Henning is 1 from 1 in Liga 1. You suffer and die, most mistakes leading to a goal. Not only is he a player we're looking to move on, but he's now making mistakes too. Fouls per 90 minutes, Hanning 3, Bernauer 2.9. So that is how we are getting on in Liga 1. Let's show you the squad. Like I said, a big squad now. We have got a lot of rotation options. If we go into position order, you can just have a look at the squad and see there is a lot in this potential column. There is not a lot in the current ability at the moment, but we are building, and we are building fast. If we look at our assistant report, then you can see that our assistant reckons this is our best 11. We've got Bajic in goal, Hanning, Undaye, Bamba, Bernauer, we've got Diakite, Ogachokwu, Jabi, we've got Tremoni, Pintor, and Laura, who came back from a loan last season to take up our leading striker role, which is quite interesting. Looking at this, lots of room for improvement. We are trying to move on the players that are overs in terms of age. It's not as quick as just saying we don't want you, please move on, because they cling on and stay at the club. But I can promise you we are signing the players to meet the brief, and we are looking wherever we can to move that type of player on. I think that is pretty much us done for the first episode. As I said, at the start of the season, 2nd of September 2022, we've played those 4 games. We have 1 win with 3 points. Tomorrow, we are going to push on to the 3rd or 4th of February. We're going to go through the January transfer window. There will be more players coming in. There will be more players leaving the club. We are going to look to continue to sign those players who are maybe French wonder kids or players who have high potential. We're going to look at the scouting reports and see whether we can go back to Monaco, PSG, Nice, St Etienne, Lyon, those kinds of teams, and pick up all of their youth intake if we can. It's going to be a difficult one, but that is probably the plan, to keep getting those regens, those new gens, and their high prospects into the club. That is how we are going to build a team using the children of the French Revolution. Right then, if you're at this point of the episode and you're still listening to me, firstly, a big thank you. Secondly, if you don't mind hitting the like and subscribe button, I really would appreciate it. It helps the channel so much. Also helps me to get this content out to so many more people, whether it be a like, a comment, or a subscribe. All of those are good. For this one, though, I'm going to start to wrap it there. If you want to go check out another video on the channel, please feel free to do so. But I will catch you tomorrow on the next episode of the Paris FC Rebuild.